Blessings, everyone. Let me come on with a scripture first. It's coming from Psalm 136, verse 1. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. In today's tutorial, I will be doing my very first Milky Way tumbler. I will post a list of what I've used in the description box below. I didn't want to make this video too long, so I already prepped my tumbler and I decided not to base coat it because I felt as though that the glitters that I would be using would be a great coverage. I already put 5 mils of epoxy on my tumbler. We are going to be using the epoxy method to put on our glitters. I did let it spin for 3 minutes. So the first glitter I will be using is from Glitter Chip. It's called Tears of My Enemies. I already have my paper down so that way it can catch my glitter when it falls. I am going to be doing a not so neat swirl. As you can see, it's not perfect. And I'm going to be turning my cup turner from Bama Cups off and on to apply the glitter. So at first I was just going to leave it like this for the swirl for this color, but I decided to do another swirl in this color, and then I'm going to go ahead and use another chunky after this. So I'm getting another clean sheet of paper, and the glitter that I'm going to be using from Coastal Glitter is called Harbour Pink. So I'm going to apply this glitter next to the other chunky that we did the first time. And yeah, you don't have to go buy, new colors. You can use any colors you want to. You don't have to just have 3 colors. You can do more than 3 colors for a Milky Way. You can actually do one, glitter if you're starting out as a beginner and you don't want to buy that much glitter. So yeah, just play around with it and see what works for you. And I'm going to, go around again, making sure that I'm covering all the spots that I wanted covered with this chunky. So you can see in this video that this swirl ain't perfect, and that's okay. It don't have to be. And I am changing my paper because I'm going to be using a fine Harbour Pink color to this tumbler. So that would be my last glitter that I would be using for this cup. I'm just going to make sure that I'm covering all the spots that I didn't cover with the 2 chunkies. And I am so loving this cup right now. Like, the sparkle is amazing. It's like, oh, I cannot wait till this cup is finished. And I can't forget my bottom, but I'm going to turn my turner off real quick so that way I can cover everything, because my turner was just spinning way too fast for me and I couldn't keep up with my turner. So I was like, no, I'm just going to turn this off real quick, turn it back on when I need it. It is all good. Like I said, when you're working on things, whether it's tumbler making or crafty related or even work related, you do what works best for you. And my turner spinning that fast, it was like, look, I just couldn't keep up. So now I'm going to hit my bottom. I didn't want to take the cup off the turner. Applying this glitter like that worked for me. So now I am coming back with the first glitter that we applied, and that was Tears of My Enemies. I've seen some tiny empty spots that I thought that it was covered in the beginning, but it wasn't. So that's why I went back to it. I am going to put everything down and make sure that all the chunkies are laying flat, because when I come back the next day and apply the epoxy on top of this tumbler, I don't have to worry about, after it's cured, sanding as much, because I try to do now for what I'm going to be satisfied with later. So right here I have a glitter mix of all 3 colors, and I'm just randomly just putting it on the cup. I just decided to do that at the last minute. And right here, since I did that, I'm just making sure everything is good and flat. And I'm going to come back the next day to apply our first top coat of epoxy. So it's the next day and I had whipped up a whole bunch of epoxy. But for this cup, we're only going to use 30 mils and that will give us great coverage on the whole cup. After I apply this, I will see y'all the next day and we're going to do our Milky Way effect. So I have the white dye and pearl white mica powder. I also have a flash white mica powder, and the third mica powder is rose pink, and then the last cup has the 3 glitters that's mixed in them. Each medicine cup, I am going to divide it with 5 mils of epoxy, and I have my spoons, I have my baby wipes that I use to wipe things down if I start to get a bit messy. And also, I already have my epoxy already ready to go to apply on the cup as well. So I'm just going to divide that up real quick in the medicine cups for the swirl. And I am applying right now at least 5 to 6 mils of epoxy to the cup. Now, I don't want my Milky Way to move as much. And to get that effect, you just use a little bit of epoxy as possible. And the way how you're going to move your epoxy is with a heat gun. And also, you have to keep in mind that the epoxy is going to move and level itself out when it's turning and curing. For the mica powders, each mica powder that I use, I only did 2 scoops of each. And for the white dye in the mica powder with epoxy, I only did 2 drops, well, 2 small drops of the white dye inside that mica powder that has the 2 scoops and the 5 mils of epoxy. So I did that off screen. Now I'm just going to apply my mica powder that just have the flash white mica powder in it with epoxy. As you can see, it's like a lighter white and it looks a little milky, which I like. And now I'm hitting it with the pink, the rose pink mica powder. And I'm just going in random places. I really wasn't thinking of all or where to put, my swirls of epoxy. I really wasn't really thinking. I just knew that I wanted to do the mica powder with the dye in it last. That's all. So you can use how many, you know, mica powders that you want to do. Just play around with it and just have fun. And if you mess up, you can always try again. So that's the one thing I like about, tumbler making, that if it don't work, you can just strip it and try again and find out what works for you. I am going with that glitter mix that I did with the epoxy. It's a little thick, but it's okay because it's like a paste like, but it's laying real nice on the cup. And as you can see, I had to wipe my hand with the baby wipes. Like I said, baby wipes come in handy. You need those baby wipes. When I'm making a mess, I just get the baby wipes and just wipe it up and just keep it moving. So I'm just going to keep applying the Milky Way effect and to my liking. So far so good. I'm loving it. As you can see, it's not really moving as much, so I'm giving it a little swirl, like a little wave. I'm going to use my fingers soon after I apply the rose pink makeup powder to the cup. And you're going to see that I am touching it and trying to move it a little bit more with the spoon as well, but not so much that it's covering, the glitter, because I do want, some glitters to peek through. So I'm going to take my finger and just make little waves, and I'm not going deep into the epoxy. I'm not pressing hard. It's just soft. And yeah, I am just going to blend all 3 just a little bit. And as you can see, I have some glitter peeking through, and that's the look I was going for. So So now I'm just going to get my heat gun and, make the epoxy move just a tad bit, not so much. And you're going to see right here that it's not even budging as much, but is moving just a little bit. And once it's spinning overnight, you're going to notice that when you come back the next day to check up on it, you're going to be like, yeah, it changed, it shifted. So it can look just like this now, but the next day it can look totally different. So this is the last step. I already applied my vinyl to my tumbler. I really didn't have to do sanding on this cup, but I did a light sanding where I have the vinyl on. But everything else I did not sand because everything was smooth. I am going to be applying the glass coat epoxy from Mr. Nola's. I used this epoxy throughout the whole video. So I'm going to take my time and make sure that I cover the whole cup. Make sure I get every single spot on this cup. Make sure the vinyl stays right there. I am going to hit it with my torch gun just a little bit. And then I will come back and show y'all the final result. Beauty right here. I just love this cup. It was so hard for me to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all so much for even taking the time to watch this video. If you like this video, thumbs up and share. Thanks so much. Peace, love, and happy crafting. God bless. Bye.